Hey guys, Matt here. Before we begin this episode of The Obsessive Viewer, I just want to mention that we are currently running a contest where you can win a free Obsessive Viewer t-shirt. The contest runs from now until January 1st, and if you want to enter, all you have to do is leave a rating and review of the podcast on iTunes or on Stitcher. Then you need to take a screenshot of the review and email it to matt@obsessiveviewer.com with the subject line Obsessive Viewer T-Shirt Contest. On January 1st, I'll randomly select a winner from the entries and we'll get a free t-shirt mailed to them. We'll be accepting entries until December 31st at midnight, so make sure you get the email in before then. Thank you guys for listening and enjoy this week's episode of The Obsessive Viewer. This is Matt Hurt at Obsessive Viewer on Twitter.
This is Tiny at Obsessive Tiny on Twitter.
And this is ObsessiveViewer.com's The Obsessive Viewer Podcast. And welcome to a special episode of The Obsessive Viewer. We're a weekly movie and TV podcast that covers a specific topic, be it genre, trope, movie, or show each episode. You can find more of our work at ObsessiveViewer.com, find more of our podcasts at ObsessiveViewer.com/podcasts, and find us on Facebook and join the Facebook group at Facebook.com/TheObsessiveViewer. So this is a special episode. I'm not sure how I'm going to cut this together, which is what I always say every single week. But this is our live episode of our yearly Shocktober in Irvington event, which is a one-night event screening of short horror films from local filmmakers screened in the Irvington community, which is a great little suburb of Indianapolis that has a ton of really great people that are super involved with the Halloween season and the spirit of Halloween. It's a very cool little area that we like to screen this event at each year and donate the proceeds to the Historical Society, which is always a great time and it's a great cause. Mm-hmm. So this year, this is our fourth year doing it, and we're going to go into the recording from the night and everything, but this year's episode is a little different in that A, it's being released after Halloween. I've been super busy, guys. And B, Tiny was not in attendance for Shocktober in Irvington. Yeah.
I was folding something or packing something or regretting something. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
He was getting cold feet.
Yeah, my feet were freezing. I had to buy new slippers. So much stress already. Yeah. And so I just, couldn't.
It was for context, it was the week before his wedding.
Yes.
And he, so I basically gave him the year off for Shocktober because, planning the ceremony and reception and everything of probably the biggest event of your entire life, probably a little more important than Shocktober in Irvington.
Yeah.
Maybe just a tad.
And it's crazy, seeing all those, that's like a feeling I can't describe, like standing on a stage. And literally everyone that you love in the world is sitting there watching you. Like that was like incredible. So
I can
not to
imagine.
Get sappy or anything.
Right. Oh, I'm gonna cry.
Me too. And full disclosure, I'm a little sick, so I might sound like I have death at the door.
Right. Which is fitting for this episode, really.
It is.
Yeah. And it's also the first. I'm not going to make that joke. Anyway.
Oh boy.
Stupid. So we are going to kind of just break in throughout this episode. I'm going to play the recording from the night, and we're going to break in with in sections here, and we're going to kind of talk about the event. And Tiny's going to sort of interview me about this year's Shocktober since he didn't get a chance to experience it. So, without further ado, I'm going to jump right into our introduction to the evening. And, this recording is from October 6th, 2017 at Playground Production Studios in Irvington, at our Shocktober in Irvington event. For more information on Shocktober in Irvington, check out shocktoberinirvington.com and like the Facebook page there. So, here we go. All right, guys. Hello, and welcome to Shocktober in Irvington 2017. This is our fourth year doing Shocktober in Irvington. It's presented by, of course, the Obsessive Viewer podcast, which is a weekly podcast that covers a specific movie or TV-related topic each week, whether it's a genre, trope, movie, or show. And so we're here tonight to screen some short horror films from some local filmmakers. We have the filmmakers here. They're going to be doing a Q&A, an interview after each screening. And we also have quite a bit of prizes to raffle off, including prize packs for Nightmare in Edgewood, which you just saw a promo from. Nightmare in Edgewood is like the most intense haunt in Indianapolis. We went there to promote Shocktober in Irvington, and they gave us a lot of stuff to raffle off. We also have $2 off coupons that are back there at the entrance, as well as some cool Obsessive Viewer wristbands, if you guys like that. So anyway, so to give some background on us and what we are, this is Shocktober in Irvington. As I said, it's presented by ObsessiveViewer.com. Obsessive Viewer is part of Obsessive Viewer podcast is part of ObsessiveViewer.com's podcast reigns. It's something that I started like 4 or 5 years ago. We have several podcasts at this point. I just don't sleep that much. We have the Obsessive Viewer, and then I also have a solo side project podcast called Anthology, which is all about science fiction anthology storytelling during television's first golden age, which is just saying that I watched The Twilight Zone for the first time, and then also I watch Black Mirror and other modern-day anthology science fiction shows. And then we also just launched a Stephen King / Dark Tower podcast called Tower Junkies. I have several business cards back there if you want to check that out. To introduce myself, I'm Matt Hurt, and this here is Chad.
Hi there.
Yep. He is. He helps us out here. You have a podcast yourself. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
A little bit. So I do a podcast called the Secular Perspective Podcast. We usually talk about the type of stuff that you don't talk about at Thanksgiving dinner, being religion, politics, stuff like that. But from the perspective of secular hosts. It was started by Anthony, who does Obsessive Viewer with Matt. Unfortunately, he's not here tonight. He's busy. He's getting married next weekend, you guys.
Yeah.
So I'm filling in. But it usually is, that show is him, myself, Amanda, who you met out front taking tickets. It's the three of us. We usually try to cover current events, stuff like that. So right now, a lot of politics stuff. But anyway, check that out. We have cards. I do also want to promo the popcorn out there.
Yes.
My mom and dad bought a popcorn trailer earlier this year. All that popcorn was just made fresh today. It's very, very good popcorn. It's $3 for regular popcorn and cheese popcorn. We have $4 for the caramel. So check that out if you're feeling hungry. And drinks are free.
Yeah.
So. Yep,
and drinks are free. Yes, and like I said, did everyone get a ticket for the raffle? Because we are going to be raffling things off throughout the night. Everyone got one? Great. Let's see. So first, right off the top, I just wanted to say thank you to some of the organizations that have helped us here. We basically, this is our fourth year doing this. We are at a new venue. This is, of course, Playground Production Studio. It's a really great venue, and I can't thank the owner, Adam, enough for accommodating us at kind of a short notice and being so helpful with us getting this year's event off the ground and running. And then also we have to thank the Black Hat Society, which is a local Irvington community of dancing witches. They do tons of incredible events throughout Irvington, and they are very much they're very helpful for organizations throughout Irvington. Everything they do is just for the community, and they are just a fantastic organization. And I'll have links and everything online on the social media and everything. Which, by the way, you can follow us at Shocktober in Irvington on Facebook, and then you can follow me at Obsessive Viewer on Twitter. And then also, of course, everything that all the proceeds we make tonight are going to be donated to the Irvington Historical Society, which, if you are not from Irvington or not familiar with Irvington, it is such a beautiful and well close-knit community of people that they love the Halloween season, and it has such a fascinating historical there's a lot of history in Irvington, and it's great. The Irvington Historical Society, by the way, just opened up a new exhibit all about the serial killer H.H. Holmes called, I believe, The Devil in the Circle City. So go to the Bana, which is just right down the street, and it's a fantastic organization. We're really happy to be able to promote or donate to them each year. And more raffle tickets. Perfect. And speaking of raffle tickets, let's go ahead and raffle off the first prize before we get to the first films. We have 2 Nightmare on Edgewood prize packs. Those include a water bottle, my business cards. I'm going to get away with that. Tickets, 2 free tickets, general admission tickets to Nightmare on Edgewood. Also a shirt and some other stuff there.
Looks like there's a koozie in there.
There is a koozie. Yep. All right. And I am pulling the first ticket out. If you get your tickets out and you have a ticket number 2487445. Yeah. There we go. Nice. Thank you. And here you go. Just that. Sorry, I don't have like a bag or anything for you, but All right. And then all right. So don't worry, guys. You'll have more chances to win more prizes as the night goes on. We are going to get things kicked off, though, with the first short film. It's J.P. Leck's The Should Not Be, from his Elsewhere World universe of multimedia everything. Like, he has short stories, novels, radio plays, short films each year. He is created a short film for us each year. We're premiering it for the first time ever here, and we'll have him up to talk about it after the screening. All right, so let's give a round of applause to J.P. Leck, Elsewhere World, and The Should Not Be. And yes, we have JP in the audience here. While he is coming up, if you want to do a Q&A with him, JP, you game? Yes. Okay, sweet. While he's coming up, I'm going to do another raffle drawing. We have more tickets. Thank you. Okay, so this one is for the mug from the film. The actual one used, yes. I trust it's been cleaned since then? Okay, no it hasn't. Okay. Yeah, it has the ashes in there. We're good. And then also 2 of JP's books in his Elsewhere World universe. We have The Strangely Undying and The Merely Mortal. Both of those are going to be raffled off here in just a second. And by the way, forgot to say this at the top. In the event of an emergency, exit is right out there. And restroom is back there. All right. So for JP's 2 books and the prop from the film, if you have the ticket 2487458. Yep. Perfect. Thank you. And here you go. No problem. JP, do you want to come up? All right. Whew.
Big guy.
All right, JP. So, I mean, you've been here. You've had a short film at every Shocktober in Irvington we've done. This is
I am Shocktober OG. Yes.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
That's original gangster for the non-street people.
I was just going to ask because I'm so not
suburbs. Yeah, I know. I can tell.
Anyway. So let's just talk about Elsewhere World and this whole expansive universe that you have and the different mediums that you have them in.
Yes. Well, let me first make my annual Shocktober apology to anyone unfamiliar with the Elsewhere world who was watching that, felt like they were coming midway through a story that's already begun. Well, you were. My hope is that you were able to enjoy it on its own and that maybe you enjoyed it enough to go check out the rest of it. There are other short films, radio plays, novels, short stories, and actually next week we go into production for our first comic book. And the way that it works is it's a single continuity. It's one story that has different installments in different mediums. So you can read a book, watch a film, listen to a radio play, comic book, novel. So they're all kind of mixed up, and there's actually a timeline on the website that show where everything happens chronologically, which is really obnoxious. I know. I apologize. It's so obnoxious, but that's just the way it is.
Yeah. But it's such a big thing now. It's become such a huge thing that you've been building. It has so many different moving pieces, and it seems like each film introduces a new piece of gadgetry and everything.
Yes, I think I make films as an excuse to build stuff.
And that is a
Dr.
great
Hardesty
excuse.
I made, the Zapper I made. It's just, I'm in my garage tinkering. I'm like, you know what, I'm going to make a movie around this. And then I do.
Nice. And how did you come up with that idea? Where, without going into spoilers or anything for future installments?
For the Dr. Hardesty creation, that was actually something I was making for an entirely unrelated project. And the end result was so good, I was like, I have to use this for a film.
Nice.
And I actually wrote the film around the prop. So it's not really how you're supposed to make a movie. You don't start with the prop and then put a story around it, but I do what I want.
Nice. And so since we are so devoted to local filmmakers and the arts and everything, I want to ask you what it's like to film in Indianapolis and in the greater area. Tell me about some of the locations and some of the struggles of filming the short this year.
Actually, there were a minimal amount of problems this year because we shot in my house.
Nice.
I got cheap this year. I was like, where can I shoot? Hey, this kitchen's pretty good. I got a garage. So, yeah, we just shot it at my house this year.
Sweet.
Other years, like when we shot at the Irving Theater or the Benton House, I've actually been surprised just how accommodating people are.
Nice.
Actually, the comic book that we're going to do, it's actually a photographic novel. So it's a comic book with photographs. I just got permission earlier this week to shoot at the Rock and Cola Cafe.
Oh, nice.
And it's funny. And every time I call these places, I always have a list of like bullet points, like what to convince them. I can do this and this and this. It'll be good for your business. But I find every time I call, they're just like, yeah, fine. I'm like, really? I have all these notes here, and I would like to explain to you why it'd be good for me to. But no, they agree almost immediately.
That's fantastic.
Super charming.
Well, that's why we keep having you back here.
Absolutely. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah. So tell us more about the comic book and where that decision came from. Because you've already got short films, and also the radio play. You're still doing one this year, right?
Yes, two actually.
Two, that's right.
WRGF 89.7 on Halloween day and night will be broadcasting both of our radio plays back to back. I think they're going to give us 4 or 5 different broadcasts. If you miss it, it's no big deal. They're all on SoundCloud for free. Just go to the website, elsewhereworld.com. As for the comic book, it's something I've been wanting to do for a long time. Actually, I was listening back to the first Shocktober.
Oh, nice.
And I mentioned wanting to get into comic books, and now, 3-4 years later, here we are.
Yeah.
So it took me a while, but we're getting there.
Sweet. So then this is a good chance to talk about how you want to do a mega blockbuster, and then here in 4 years you can...
I joke that maybe the 100th installment of the Elsewhere World will be the feature-length film.
Nice.
Don't hold me to that. We're only on installment 20 by the end of the month, but I don't know. We'll see. And if we do, it'll be a Shocktober or something.
Oh, sweet.
You can see it here.
Well, when you're world-renowned, I will hold you to that. That is a verbal contract with Shocktober and Irvington and ObsessiveViewer.com.
It's a deal.
Yeah. As you are a man who wears many hats, what is and you've been doing this yearly, essentially, for a long time. Yes. What is your favorite, and I may have asked you this on another Shocktober, but what is your favorite part of the whole process? Do you like writing the books, writing the radio plays, directing the radio plays?
I actually enjoy doing all of it because they all have different things about it that I enjoy.
Such a PR answer.
It is. So diplomatic. But the novels are great because I get to sit alone in my office and write. But then as that starts to get stale, it's fun to go out and actually go to places and shoot a film.
Yeah.
And so, I have found that the projects actually inform one another creatively. Like once I do one thing, it's nice to kind of layer that with something else, and so I just do, and I always have like 3 or 4 things going at once, which helps also.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, that's a little bit.
How do you find the time for all of that? Like, I mean, I have a few podcasts.
You're going to be even more impressed to hear that I work an overtime job at night and have 3 small children.
Oh.
I know, I'm amazing.
Wow.
Round of applause? Nothing? Okay.
Yeah. All right. I'll give it to you.
All right, thank you, Matt. Thank you. Yeah. Jeez, unbelievable. Bunch of dog people, aren't you? Anyway, go on.
At
what time? Great. When did he lose the audience exactly? I think it was
next year we'll have you at the end so that we can lose the audience at the end.
As everybody's leaving, yeah. Show them the film.
We've already got your money. We're good.
That's true. Can't argue with that.
Yeah. So what's next with everything in terms of story? Like, you have a timeline on the website and everything.
Yes.
And how far out do you have this mapped out, and how intricate is
I am years planned. And I actually plan to do this for the rest of my life. This is going to be my lifelong work. Like, every story that I tell will all occur in a single continuity. It's going to be one story. But fortunately, I can go as far into the past or as far into the future as I like, so I have plenty of space to work in. But yes, this is going to be my life's work. Hopefully I don't get hit by a bus on my way out of here or something.
Right. That's fantastic. So what happens if you get a spark of creativity, a drive to make some animated kids thing how would you incorporate that?
I'd make it work. I have the utmost faith in myself to make that work. I don't know if that actually happened, but we'll see.
Well, I've seeded it in your brain.
You have.
I've incepted you.
I'll credit you with that.
I like that. Yeah, so I'll turn this over to a Q&A for people in the audience if you guys want to ask a question to JP about the short film, about Elsewhere World, or about anything else. Yes.
So where was Sorry, speak up.
Where was the yellow block room?
The yellow block room?
Yeah, the hotel room.
That was actually a motel right down the street from my house. Funny story about that. So I go down there, and I'm talking to the owner, and I'm trying to explain to her what it is we're going to do. And she's like, okay. She's looking at this just incredibly suspicious look in her eye. And it wasn't until later that I realized that there is nothing I could have said to that woman that would have convinced her that I wasn't about to shoot a porno in her motel. And I was like, oh, yeah, no. So maybe I'll take a copy of the film back to her and be like, look, I did not defile your motel room. Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic.
This one?
Yep.
I really love the mechanical music sound effects.
Thank you.
Who did the music and how was the inspiration for the sound?
The sound effects and music both are just whatever I could pull off the internet. I don't really have time to get an original score for these if I'm going to get them done yearly, but fortunately we live in an era where there's lots of just royalty-free music and sound effects online. Now, parsing through all that takes ages because when you're not designing the music and the sound effects yourself, you have to go find the ones that you want and are going to match what you're shooting. So that is quite a chore, but yeah, I mean, just whatever you need to find, it's online.
Nice.
It does. Thank you for pointing that out. Actually, this film, unlike the other ones that we've done, was our first. It was significantly less Foley this time around because we shot actually in my house, and we're in a pretty quiet neighborhood, so we're able to shoot most live sounds. But yeah, pretty much everything else that I've done, it's footsteps, wind, door. Just you have to completely build the entire soundscape, and it does take forever. Mm-hmm. Good question. Thank you.
That's awesome. And I do want to throw in a quick question for you.
Yes.
You filmed in your house and everything, so do you really have a pretty big collection of VHS tapes?
Because now, let me bowl everybody over here. Everybody's like, hey, the filmmaker, yeah, he's got that many VHSs. Those are my wife's.
Okay.
That is my wife's collection of VHS. She's so proud of it. We spent years going to half-price books. When nobody cared about VHS anymore and they had a crate of them for 50 cents. We walked out with the crate. So yeah, nice. All of those are for sure. Yes,
That's amazing. Yeah.
Yes, and we have 3 or 4 VCRs. It's the 80s in my house. It's ridiculous. The kids play Super Nintendo. It's absurd.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah. Anyone else have any other questions for JP?
It was just a prop brain. I found it on eBay. Yeah, it was $8.
Nice.
eBay, also eBay. I spent about 6 months gutting that and painting it and adding all the new stuff and putting the lights in it. I'm very proud of that prop. It's probably my best yet. Throw him away. I'll save him next time.
Nice. And did you have any trouble with the filming in the cemetery? You don't live at a cemetery, do you?
Just about. I mean, you would think so. Like, if I'm not here or at home, I'm probably skulking around a cemetery somewhere. No, they're actually, we go out there and shoot all the time, and no one seems to really have a problem with it.
That's fantastic.
Absolutely.
Great.
Because it would suck because I have nowhere else to shoot.
Yeah. Okay, so to kind of wrap up and everything, why don't you tell people where they can find Elsewhere World?
Yes,
and,
elsewhereworld.com. Yeah. You can find all of our films, the radio plays, the short stories, the novels, and everything else we're going to do. There's links to all of our social media if you want to follow along, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. elsewhereworld.com.
All right, perfect. Well, thank you very much, JP, and it's always a pleasure. Right. And great job on the film. Okay, and I think we're going to raffle off some more prizes here. We're going to dip into the gift cards that we have. Greg, do you want to assist me with that? All right. So, as we usually do, each year we do have a bunch of gift cards to local businesses here in Irvington. We do have several that we're going to give away. The first one I think I'm going to raffle off here is the one for Wiley Palooza, the ice cream spot on Washington. And let's see. So I'm going to go ahead and get a ticket out of here. All right. And if you have the number 248-7464, you've won the...
Come on down.
Nice.
Nice.
There we go. Thank you. All right. And then let's see.
You have the ugliest assistant ever.
Who, you?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I wasn't going to say anything.
It's kind of low rent, you know. You need someone attractive. This is brutal.
I know, right?
I know.
I don't know. It's hard to come by. By the way, this is Greg, by the way, guys. He is from the We Are Libertarians podcast. Do you want to talk about that while I grab one of these other gifts?
I can, yeah, while you're doing that. Matt, it's actually Matt and I, and our friend that couldn't be here, Anthony Ramian, used to drink out at Rick's Boatyard when we were all single young bachelors and talk about doing a music festival or a video amateur film festival. And so turns out it turned into Shocktober in Irvington, and we just can't thank all of you enough because this is amazing that you guys would spend your money, come out and support filmmaking like you have, and just really, I'm blown away every year. And I am, I met Matt, but then I do a podcast called We Are Libertarians. It is basically offensive. It's all the irreverence modern politics deserves. That's sort of how we brand ourselves, and we're sort of a third way and third look. We consider ourselves sort of like Meet the Press and Mad Magazine. And you can find that at wearelibertarians.com. And but it's again, just thank you so much. Like they deserve a round of applause.
Yeah,
for the
absolutely.
Support.
Thank you guys so much.
And JP, what a stud!
Oh,
You're the best, man. Thank you.
Just it's amazing to have someone who's literally producing his life's work want to associate with us every year. It's fantastic.
He's kind of a stage 5 clinger at this point.
A little bit, yeah. We kind of have to do Shocktober now each year because he won't stop creating stuff. Okay, so on behalf of my latest podcast, Tower Junkies, I do have a bunch of Stephen King paperbacks. I'm going to go ahead and raffle off the first one. This was the first Stephen King book I ever read. I'm a huge Stephen King fan. It's The Shining. I know a lot of people probably know the film. This book terrified me. It's fascinating. It's incredible, and I'm glad to be able to pass it on to someone else. I mean, it's a new copy, but give it to someone else. All right, and that ticket is 248-7418.
All right,
there we go.
Come on down.
Yeah. Here you go, and you also have a Tower Junkies business card on the back. So
yeah,
that is the real prize. Are you a Stephen King fan by chance or anything? Okay, there we go. All right. Well, let's see. Let's do one more gift card, and then we'll go on to the next film. How about
Let's do it. That sounds like a plan.
All right. And let's see. I think this one here.
You want me to draw this one for you?
Yes, if you would not mind. This is for Black Sheep Gifts on Washington. It's a nice little shop right there in the middle of that little strip there. Do you want to go ahead and read the?
Yeah, absolutely.
By the way, again, free drinks and some chips back there, and if you want to buy some popcorn, we have those set up there for you.
Yeah, help yourself. All right, the winner is 248-7422. 248-7422. Is this thing on? Oh, there you go. Thank you. Thanks for coming out.
Here you go. Thank you. I'll take that. Thank you very much. All right, and next up we have a pair of films from Fair Creek Films. These are 48-hour film project films. The way that works, Fecus, is that each team gets 48 hours to write, direct, or shoot, produce a short film with certain criteria. So they have I believe a line of dialogue, a character's name, and I think an occupation as well that they have to incorporate into the short film that they have to write, and genre. And genre? Okay, sure. Great. And a genre. Didn't know that. All that they have to create in 48 hours. And it's Indie Film Fest recently, within the past couple years, has been screening the 48-hour film project entries during their Indie Film Fest festival in July. So be on the lookout for that next year. They have 2 screenings. They have them separated into 2 different screenings at the Indianapolis Museum of Art in the Toby Theater. And that's always a blast to go to. And it's really fascinating to see the creative energy that goes into 48 hours.
It's a stunning concept. To be able to launch,
amazing.
Create, and then film something and have a finished product in that 48-hour time constraint is amazing. And especially the quality that these are.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, yeah. And the first one we're going to show is called Synesthesia. I really hope I'm not butchering that pronunciation, guys. But, yeah. But we're going to go ahead and screen that, and then, we'll go ahead and hit play on that.
You got any folders you don't want shared? Just for the record.
This is Chad's computer, so maybe.
Everything's neatly organized, conveniently.
Okay, so Tiny, you weren't at Shocktober this year.
Right.
You had some PTO. Yeah. It's so stupid.
Had to use it. My boss made me.
Yeah. You were suspended. You turned in your badge and your gun.
Yeah.
Your mic and your recorder.
Can I get my gun back, by the way?
No.
I have a family to protect now.
Right. You turned in your business card and your microphone. There we go.
Yes, there you go.
Anyway, so did you have any questions about Shocktober in Irvington this year?
First of all, just overall, how did it go? Give me the deets.
It went really well.
Nice.
For an event that was, I was so proud of us for pulling it off. Because this is the 4th year doing it, and a lot of pieces of it are kind of a well-oiled machine. Like we have Chad doing the technical side of it, and Chad and Amanda from the secular perspective providing refreshments and everything. Ticket sales were doing well and everything. Everything was working really well. But each year we have one thing that kind of really causes a little bit of chaos. And this one was pretty big that we didn't have a venue 2 weeks before the event. There was just miscommunication. We ended up losing the venue that we had previously. And fortunately, Adam from Playground Productions accommodated us and was so great and so awesome. And it went so incredibly smoothly. Like, I had some stress for about a month prior to locking down the new venue and everything. And then, I mean, within one within 10 minutes of meeting Adam at the playground, I was like, oh, okay. Hey, this is perfect. This is absolutely perfect. And
nice.
This is our new home.
Very good.
Yeah. So it was overall, it was really great. And the films were amazing. JP's, of course, he always does really great work. And then we had, newcomers to Shocktober in Irvington from Fair Creek Films. They had 2 shorts that they had at the 48-Hour Film Project over the last couple years, and that was a blast to have them on and show their work. It's always super interesting to see the 48-Hour Film Project screenings.
Right.
And then we also had, again, the Witching Season films they're from Utah. They're not local here, but we kind of closed the night with one of their short films, which was, I don't know if you've actually seen it yet. It's called They Live Inside Us.
I haven't watched it yet, no.
Yeah, it's, I purposely chose that one because we just launched Tower Junkies, and They Live Inside Us is based on, or inspired by a quote from Stephen King.
Nice.
Yeah. It's a really good short film. You should check it out. But
very good.
Yeah. Yeah. So speaking of which, let's go back to the recording from October 6th at Playground Production Studios. All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and get the filmmakers from Fair Creek Films up for our Q&A here. After that, we will have a brief intermission for people to use the restroom and do all that stuff. I don't know why I phrased it like that.
It's awfully presumptive.
It is. Well, hey, do whatever you want. All right. Anyway.
Round of applause for Fair Creek Films.
Round of applause. All right. Okay. If you guys want to, yeah, absolutely.
2 chairs.
Oh, yeah, right on. And then I'll give you guys a microphone if you guys want to just kind of huddle around. All right. All right. If you guys just want to pass around the mic and everything, just make sure you talk right into it when you do. There you go. All right. And so, first of all, congratulations on winning. Now, Solanum. Okay, first of all, how do you pronounce these films?
The first one was Synesthesia, so you got that one right.
Okay.
And then the second one was Solanum.
Okay, Solanum. Okay. I'll just have you guys pronounce it. So first of all, congratulations on all of your success and your work on that. Can you talk to us a little bit about the 48-Hour Film Project and how you guys got together as a team and who else is involved and kind of just general background and everything? And also introduce yourself, say your names and everything.
Shall we start off by introducing ourselves?
Yes.
So my name is Tyler Smith, or Ty Higgs is my pseudonym that I go by.
I was wondering about that. I'm so glad you clarified that.
My name's Austin Owens.
I'm Derek Combs.
Oops. All right. Well, nice to meet you guys. So tell us about Fair Creek Films and about your experience with the 48-Hour Film Project.
Well, we've been doing the 48-Hour Film Festival for about 6 years now. So around the time that we were kind of still in high school, we used to just gather a group of friends and get involved and kind of go crazy. The great thing about the 48-Hour Film Festival is we see it as a chance to experiment with film. So with our projects outside of that, we can, really lock in and figure out, what we want to do.
Great. That's awesome. So did I get it right? You would get one line of dialogue, a character name, an occupation, and also do you get genre and a prop?
All of that.
All of that? Gotcha.
Genre, prop, line of dialogue, and there's a character name that we have to have.
Well, it's like a full character, so it'll be like a name, short description, usually no personality traits, but and then they don't necessarily have to be the major character of the film. They could even just be a short mention or something like that, but the character has to be there and be recognizable.
Nice.
Like the cooler in Solanum where he is writing Forrest Courtney on there. Forrest Courtney is the name that we had to have in the short film.
Right. And if I remember correctly, Voila was the Voila?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you're under that kind of pressure, how do you get a story out? Like, what's your, I mean, not motivation, but how do you, like, get into your head to pull a story out? Because one of the things I really liked about Solanum was that it had a lot, it was kind of profound. It had a bit to say about temptation and like a person's demons and stuff. It was really interesting, and I definitely want to talk to you about the location because, man, that looked like a perfect place for that type of film. Yeah. But yeah, so where do you get the inspiration when you're under such tight constraints?
I don't know. It just kind of happens. Go ahead.
The first thing you do is you stay awake for 12 hours straight, and then you beat your head against the wall repeatedly, and eventually you will write something down, or you will pass out. Nice. And then when you pass out, you just film what you dreamt about.
There you go.
And we've tried different styles of writing for the 48-hour film festival each year. So we used to do it as like a huge team, and then we realized there were too many opinions in the room. So the next year we kind of cut a lot of those people out, and then we kind of finalized things. So with Solanum and Synesthesia, we kind of like narrowed it down to 2 to 3 people writing the story.
Okay. And so what is, like, how many people are involved in Fair Creek Films, and how'd you guys get together?
Oof, boy. You want to tell that story?
Sure. So how Fair Creek Films kind of started is Tyler and myself, we were actually in Boy Scouts together. And so we went on a camp out one time, and we were like, hey, you like playing video games? I like playing video games. So then we went home and we played video games, and Tyler was like, hey, man, you want to make a zombie movie? I was like, yeah, man, let's do that. And then things kind of took off from there. Talked to other friends, found more people that were interested. Everybody had kind of been doing a little bit on their own. And what we kind of focused on was bringing those people together and trying to help everyone each bring their own skill set to the table and really work together to make something, hopefully something profound.
That's great. And yeah. And so when is the next, because like I said, at Indie Film Fest, they screen them in July. So when is the actual 48-hour film project, like, deadline and everything when it starts?
It used to be in August. They changed it up. Yeah, I believe Big Car Collaborative used to host it, but then it switched over to Indie Film Fest pretty recently. So I believe they moved it over to August.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Sure.
July, early August time.
Yeah.
Nice. And so tell us about the experience of when you won Best Cinematography for Solanum, right?
Yes.
Okay, tell us about that. Like, what goes into shooting a film like that on such a small, virtually no budget and such a tight time constraint? Like, how do you get that visual appeal out of it?
We're pretty used to having absolutely no budget and working with just the resources and the supplies that we have. I've had the same camera for the past 8 to 9 years.
Nice.
But Derek is phenomenal at lighting. So I'll have him kind of talk about that, because lighting brings a whole new meaning to kind of framing. Because I got the framing down, at least I believe I do. And he kind of helps bring the other 50% of that.
Nice.
Well, with Solanum, it was pretty easy because we just used natural light. So the entire time, and there was no, where we were shooting, there was no like outlets or electrical, anything like that we could use for lighting. So we just had to basically depend on the sun and anything that would give us any lighting in that dark area. And with Synesthesia, it was basically just using very minimal lights and kind of just shooting it to fit a mood. So a lot of times we would just use 1 or 2 lights just to create harsh shadows or kind of this moody atmosphere that would just create the feeling that we're trying to convey.
Nice. Yeah, with Synesthesia, when she's going down the dark hallway, I'm just like, I'm kind of a wimp, so I'm just terrified of the dark. So that just kind of got to me a little bit. And I also worked for like 7 years, third shift, so that was a fun time. But yeah, that was great. And so tell me about the location also, because that just screams desolation and set design. So how'd you come about it, and did they know that you filmed there?
For Solanum?
Yeah, for Solanum, yeah.
Solanum's actually on the Near East side, so it's just like an abandoned kind of warehouse. I believe they have it all locked up now, unfortunately.
We broke in.
Break in, there was a hole in the fence.
Well, there you go.
But it was an absolutely beautiful location, especially with all that natural light leaking in. It was very easy to kind of find frames around that.
Nice.
But it very much fit the kind of dystopian kind of thing. And I live on the Near East Side, so it's right next door.
Nice. Did you is that something that, like, okay, you were scouting for that type of location, or is it like, oh, hey, I live right next to this, let's kind of shoot like a film around that?
We've learned over the years with 48 Hour to keep the locations kind of simple. Synesthesia was filmed in my apartment because we had nowhere else and no time to find anything else. With Solanum, I had been in there a few weeks previously, scouting out locations for another local film festival.
Oh, nice.
And, yeah.
Nice. And let's see, where can people find more of Fair Creek Films online and more of your guys' work, and what's to come?
Well, right now you can find us online, primarily on Facebook. That's where most of our things are being posted. We're also trying to get a Patreon together so that we can start doing more long-form storytelling, like web series and that kind of stuff, maybe even feature film. But to do that, we're all out of high school, so we don't have as much time. That whole need to eat is pretty big.
I'd very much like to do more films that are not made in 48 hours, because I'd like to take my time on them, and I'd like to go through the story and put more detail and work and effort into it. Which we do have a trailer available as well.
Yes, we'll be playing that after the intermission. But can you tell us about that? Is that going to be for another short film or for a feature? Or?
Well, it's about a 35-minute short film.
Nice.
It's another hard-to-pronounce title.
I noticed.
Just because it makes me laugh seeing people try to pronounce it.
Nice.
There are meanings behind each title. They're not completely pointless. Anamnesis is the title of that one. It's about a cursed VHS tape that is activated into the player, and it kind of consumes the guy living in that apartment, and that guy goes on to consume others, and steals memories from people's brains, and kind of lives off of those.
Nice. That's great. And are you guys going to be doing 48-hour film or 48-hour film project going forward? And also, how do you feel about it going over to the Indie Film Fest?
It's kind of become a tradition by now to do 48-hour. Every year it's like, can we do this? Do we have enough money to do this? Do we have the time to do this?
Right.
And, do we have the people? With Solanum, we were down to like 2 to 3 crew members. Him and I were passing the camera back and forth.
Oh, wow.
But gosh, I forgot the beginning of that question. 48-hour film festival. Tradition. Yes, we'll probably do it again.
Nice. And then how do you feel about it going over from Big Car to Indie Film Fest?
Indie Film Fest seems to know a lot more about film.
Sure.
No, that's not trashing anyone.
Of course.
Big Car did a beautiful job setting up that event each year, and they had done it for so long. And it's kind of sad to see it transfer over to Indie Film Fest. It's a completely different event, but it is handled a little differently, and I kind of like it.
Perfect. Great. Well, once again, where can people find you? You said Facebook. Just search Fair Creek Films.
Facebook again. Facebook, YouTube, we're on Instagram as well. Patreon is super important to us right now because we want to continue to make films with possible budgets in the future. So we can stop passing the camera back and forth to each other, and so people can be fed and stuff like that.
Yeah, and with the internet and with Patreon and even like things like Indiegogo and crowdsourcing and everything, it's just really a great time to be a creative person, as long as the right people with the right bank accounts notice.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah. Well, thank you guys so much for coming out, and congratulations on doing things that I could never even imagine doing in 48 hours. That's just incredible. Yep.
Thank you.
All right, yep. A round of applause. Yeah. All right, and we are going to raffle off another Nightmare on Edgewood prize pack and Funko Pop, and then we will do a brief intermission. So, I'll just go ahead and do that now. If you have ticket number 248-7448, that is for the... No! Great! Oh, all right. You get the Nightmare on Edgewood prize pack and my business cards. Don't forget about that. In that. Yes. No. Just that. No. Congratulations. Yeah. All right, and then let's see. We have a bunch of Funko Pops. One is Groot from Guardians of the Galaxy, Volume 2, which is not horror themed, but it's scary how adorable it is. So, oh yeah. All right, and Groot goes to 248-7442. Nice. Here you go. Thank you. All right, and we are going to do a brief intermission for about 10-15 minutes, and when we come back, we will have the trailer for Fair Creek Films' unpronounceable film that they just referenced, and then we will continue with the event. All right. Well, yeah, Tiny Annie, what's up?
Well, I'm really curious about the venue because I haven't seen it yet, and
that's true.
Looking forward to it for next year.
Mm-hmm.
How was it? Was it tall, small? Is it haunted? Are there hot girls there? I don't know.
It's not haunted that I know of. This guy Adam has had it for, I think he said 4 years now. It's kind of cool because it's right behind a Blackacre brewery. Not like the actual brewery, but like a micro. I don't know what it like a place where they store all the beer.
Okay.
And
heaven. You're looking for heaven. Yes, that's what it is. Yeah.
No, but it's fantastic. The venue is kind of small, but like the feel of it was just very intimate, and
nice.
The sound in it, like since it was such a small space, the sound was just really effective.
Nice.
Like it felt like, because like in years past, I kind of felt like, with the big open space of the Irving, it kind of seemed like maybe people might be a little hard to hear,
yeah.
At least the interviews or even the films in the back. But like here, it was like everything was pitch perfect and really great. We also got a chance to actually hang up the banner on the wall, so we didn't
nice.
have the PVC frame.
The shitty PVC frame.
Well,
let's be honest.
A work of art, really.
An engineering feat.
Yeah. So that was great. Had so many awesome prizes too. But yeah, I'll get into that in a second. But the venue was amazing, and I mean, I don't want to commit to it or not, but there is talk that we will have a sponsor for next year to have a cash bar.
Nice. Which
is super exciting. Yeah. So anyway, so I'm super excited because that venue is amazing, and it was super great to have that there, and like I said, that's I mean, that's going to be probably our new home for Shocktober in Irvington.
Nice.
It's so great, and so it's the perfect fit for us.
How tall are the ceilings?
I mean, they're
Like, how big is the screen?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know, actually.
Has it been inspected for asbestos?
I don't know.
Damn it, Matt. These are important questions.
It has good lighting, though.
Okay, well, that takes care of it.
Good. Yeah, there you go.
No, that's cool. The pictures, it looked great.
Oh, absolutely. And Adam has a bunch of really cool events and things at the Playground. So check it out at Playground Production Studios. Just find that on Facebook. It's a really great little venue.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're going to go back into the recording from October 6th, 2017 at the Playground, Shocktober in Irvington 4. Enjoy. All right, and I think we're going to have the guys from Fair Creek Films back up here for a quick Q&A, and while they're coming up here, I'm going to go ahead and make a couple announcements. First of all, thank you guys once again for coming out. We have one more short film and a bunch of prizes to raffle off. And I just want to mention a big thank you to Adam from Playground Productions Studio here for accommodating us. And if you're in Irvington or in the area around Saturday, October 28th, they're actually Playground Productions will actually be hosting a Halloween festival after party. Advance tickets are $10. You can actually buy them from Adam here tonight. And yeah, you can find more information about Playground Productions, which is obviously a great venue. We love it. And he has a bunch of different things that you can do if you're planning an event, recording. Once you want some professional recording done, check out playgroundproductionsstudio.com. And he'll also be having during the Halloween festival a holistic and arts and crafts market here that is actually going to be free. So check that out. Again, that's playgroundproductionsstudio.com. And yeah, if I could get the guys from Fair Creek up here. Here. Oh, and I just hit my face with the microphone.
Way to go.
All right. Here you go, guys. And now, does anyone have any questions for the guys from Fair Creek or any questions about the two short films we've screened or the Anamnesis? Anamnesis. Anonymous, yeah. Yeah, so any questions? Go right ahead.
I have maybe the silliest question. In the first movie, Synesthesia, there was a prominent shot of a wheat bagel put on a table with a pie part taken out of it, but replaced by a white bread bagel.
Same bagel, but that bagel does travel throughout that film. So it goes from the fridge to the table, and there's a later shot where you'll see that up next to the TV. So if you pay close attention, it travels throughout the frame. That is on accident.
It wasn't.
Yeah, that was totally on purpose.
Right.
There's a lot of deep meaning behind it.
That bagel actually experiences a Pixar film in between scenes. Be on the lookout for
that. Next question for Fair Creek Films. Tony in the back.
Yes, long-time obsessor, first-time viewer. I noticed in the credits on the second short, you thanked local makerspace Love Siberia. Would you mind telling us what they did to help or why you thank them?
Okay. Yeah, sure. So what Club Siberia is, for those of you that don't know, it's a local not-for-profit makerspace off of 30th and Shadeland. So they have about 12,000 square feet of space across 3 rooms. So wood shop, metal shop, lathes, laser cutters, 3D printers, design computers, and then there's a open auditorium area and studio spaces kind of a thing. And so what we did with Siberia is every year they provide space for us to host 48-hour out of. So we'll spend the whole weekend there, brainstorming in the different rooms, setting up, doing the props. Whenever we need props, we'll usually build them there, do setup. When we need lighting, there's a couple of the members will sometimes help out with lighting, doing props and stuff, helping us to paint things, get set up more effectively. And we even will sometimes film there. The hall scenes in synesthesia were all filmed at Siberia. That's what that big, dark, empty hallway was.
That's fantastic.
Siberia is a filmmaker's best friend because anything that we can think of, we can immediately go and make. And we're surrounded by several other makers who can help us make those dreams a reality. So it's perfect. Maker spaces are.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's awesome. Any other questions for Fair Creek? There you go.
Your second film, Salon, had a very clear shot of Lionel Richie's Back to Earth.
Yes.
What would be the album you guys would take with you at the end of the world?
Oh, his title album. You are the sun, you are the rain. You make my life this foolish game. I've posed on the beach with that album. Lionel Richie is one of our favorites, and we actually keep the Lionel Richie title album, his very first one. We used to carry that around with us on sets, and we'd just take pictures of him with us, kind of like a flat Stanley sort of thing, but flat Lionel. There's an Instagram page out there called Flat Lionel that started and never got carried through.
Excellent. Yeah. Any other questions? Next one? Anyone? There we go.
Like when you described the last movie or the trailer for the movie, I was expecting it to be like a thriller or horror movie, but it was really just very hypnotic, kind of beautiful music with like shots that were like kind of slow. And there's you ever into a movie with like obscure color, if you know what that is?
Yeah.
That's sort of the feeling I got instead of like the rain was kind of like
Yeah.
Is that sort of like your view is to make something sort of like very artistic with like hypnotic and artistic?
There's no real instructions or sort of direction that I follow. I just kind of go with what feels right on a film. So with Anamnesis, I wasn't, expecting it to be hypnotic or anything like that. We just went into that with an idea and we carried it through. We just made the film with the emotions we were feeling at the moment. We actually source most of our music from the films that you saw from Mark Kuykendall, who runs a record label in Tulsa, Oklahoma, called The New Honey Shade. He's got a lot of beautiful music online that you can go check out on Bandcamp, and he's been gracious enough to allow us to use all of his music for our stuff. I've written to his music quite a bit. I have several scripts just written listening to his music, and he tries a lot of experimental stuff, and it kind of fits with our style.
Nice. And I think we have time for one more question, if anyone else has one for them. Anyone? Fecus.
What were the props that each of the short films was based around?
For Solanum, it was a tomato, which you saw like once, I think. And suddenly that whole story had to revolve around the tomato, which kind of complicated things. What was synesthesia? It wasn't the bagel.
We had to have a plumber.
Synesthesia was the
keychain. So when she's first going into the apartment. Yeah.
Nice. Great. Well, thank you guys once again. Best of luck in the future, and congratulations on everything that has come before now.
Real quick.
Oh, yeah.
I'd like to just mention Siberia has an open house tomorrow from 1 to 6, so you guys should totally go check it out. There's going to be a bunch of people there hanging out, playing VR games, arcade games, watching anime, that kind of stuff. So, yeah.
Nice. Sweet. Awesome. Well, thank you guys again, and another round of applause for Fair Creek Films. Okay, now we have one more short film, but before we do that, I think we're going to raffle off the rest of the prizes. So we have a ton of gift cards, which each gift card is for $10. Some of them may not have that written on them. So let's see. Let's go ahead and raffle off these gift cards. We have 2 gift cards to Giacomo's. We're going to just raffle those off together. Giacomo's Pizza, and do you want to read it?
Yep. All right, so we're looking at 248-7416.
And the winner is Pat, who came here from Evansville, which I don't think has a Giacomo Pizza.
No, we ate there before we came over.
You did. Now, would you rather have like a Funko Pop, since you guys are from out of town, or save these for next year?
Well, you're getting ahead of yourself on that. No, I'll take the gift cards.
Okay, there you go. Well, congratulations. And all right. And so this next prize is for a card game. It's called Movie Buff. It is a fantastic card game. We met the creator of it over at Indie PopCon this past summer, and we played a game. We played a round of the game on the podcast at PopCon, and it is such a blast. It's essentially a movie trivia game where you have played kind of in the style of Uno, where you play, you put down a card that you needs to be it's either a title, quote, character, or actor name, and it needs to follow a specific movie. So if someone puts down a movie for Armageddon, then the next person puts down a card for actor, they say, oh, Ben Affleck, and then it has to keep going. So the beautiful thing about that is that there's no expansion packs, because your mind is the expansion pack, because it's all just for your own movie knowledge. So we're going to raffle off the prize for Movie Buff. And do you have the ticket?
Yep. All right. 248-7450.
All right. Here you go. Congratulations. All right. And then following that same theme, we have Buy the Rights, which is a movie pitching party game, which is also a card game where you basically have different categories that you put them together to create a log line of a fake movie. And when you do that, the one person is the producer, that they hold all the money, and then they pay the one that they want, that they like the best. So it goes around and around. It's a great game made locally from people in Indianapolis, Tommy Day and his whole crew there. They're wonderful people. We had them on the podcast months ago, and we're delighted to have a copy of the game to give away. So that card, or that ticket number, Chad?
Last four is going to be 7431.
Ah, okay.
The winner.
Here you go. Yo, yeah. All right. And let's see. So, okay, we have 2 more Stephen King paperbacks. So I'm going to go ahead and raffle those off first, or next. We have a paperback of The Dark Tower, Book 1, The Gunslinger. Nothing like the movie, guys. I promise. It is. There was never a movie. On behalf of my podcast, my other podcast, Tower Junkies, it's my favorite thing, Dark Tower series, and if you win it, please read it and don't see the movie. The ticket number?
7423. Awesome.
Nice. Nice. So happy. Thank you.
Have lower Rotten Tomatoes than Dark Tower.
I do have that. That is comforting. Yeah, our friend Feckus just said that Flatliners had a lower Rotten Tomatoes score than The Dark Tower, which to that I say it's like it flatlined when it was released. You get it? Flatliners? Okay, so it's The next prize we're raffling off is It by Stephen King. You may know about the movie that, is like the most successful horror movie in history at this point, I think.
Second best Stephen King movie ever?
Sure. So we have the movie tie-in edition of It. Like I said, I'm a huge Stephen King fan, and I'm excited to I have another copy at home. And it's just exciting because I'm just excited that they're splitting the movie into two parts. So I get one movie tie-in edition, and then when the second one comes out, I'm going to have another one that's going to look different because I'm insane and I keep buying these things. But anyway, read the ticket number, please. So I stop talking.
No, I really want to see how long this rambles on.
Oh yeah.
You're doing great.
Oh, thank you. Again, Tower Junkies, a podcast.
All right,
okay, go ahead.
I was kidding. 7453. Anyone, please.
Yep. Nice.
Don't let him start talking again.
All right. You're welcome. All right, and we have several gift cards left. So let's go ahead and go with James. Well, actually, you know what? We're going to raffle off the gift cards, but we're going to let the winners choose which gift card they're going to get. So we have Blackacre, James Dant, and The Legend, which is such a great little place on Washington. They have the Ellenberger, which is like super affordable and delicious. It's kind of like this elegant little place, but it's very nice. And we also have Irvington Vinyl. And this last one we have is... Oh, another Irvington Vinyl. So go ahead and read the numbers. Oh, and Book Mamas. Oh, Irvington Vinyl is in Book Mamas. Okay, gotcha. Okay. You can use the Irvington Vinyl gift card for Irvington Vinyl or Book Mamas, which is right there in the next to 10 Johnson Avenue.
Okay. All right, so we're looking at ticket number 7465. We had a winner.
Yeah. And we're back, and it's funny because I don't remember if I mentioned this in the recording or not, but totally forgot to do a Q&A for Fair Creek Films.
Oh boy!
So in the recording, you'll notice that we actually this might be after I don't know where I'm going to place this, but after the intermission, I brought them back up to do the Q&A.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, it was awkward. Yeah. Yeah, but other than that, I mean, the night went well.
Nice.
So Tiny, any other questions?
Yeah, tell me about the films, because I'm bummed that I had to miss them. Did you have like a clear favorite, or were they all pretty amazing?
I didn't have a clear favorite. They were all pretty amazing. I'm biased because I picked them.
Right.
And, I mean, again, JP's was phenomenal. His short film, like each part of his Elsewhere World, universe, like each film kind of introduces another like contraption or thing.
Yeah.
And this one was very cool. It was a really cool addition to it. And also like JP, I remember like the first year we did it, he was kind of a little not shy and reserved, but like he was kind of nervous about the Q&A and stuff.
Yeah.
And I mean, like when you hear him in this episode, like he's on fire. He's perfect. He's great.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's always a blast to have him on, and I'm so excited to see what he does next.
Nice.
And then the guys from Fair Creek Films, they were fantastic, and they were super cool, and they were very gracious with their stories about 48 Hour Film Project and how they got started and everything, and they had such incredible insight to their production process and everything, and the films were really cool too. Like one of them I'm not even going to try to pronounce them because each one is, I struggle pronouncing them, but one of them is kind of this post-apocalyptic kind of thing, where it's this guy is just the sole human or soul person, and it tells the story. It's a 48 Hour Film Project thing, so it takes like they were given criteria to include into this film, so they had 48 hours to write and shoot and produce and edit this film. And it has like some very clear themes about temptation and humanity and what's important and stuff like that. It's just really well done.
Nice.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And check them out at Fair Creek Films, and also check out JP's work at elsewhereworld.com. And then finally, the guys from Witching Season Films were gracious enough to let us screen They Live Inside Us, which was phenomenal. Like they're every time I watch one of their movies on YouTube, they have short horror films that are anthology horror films. Each time I see it, I'm like, I need to spin off anthology into an anthology horror podcast.
Nice.
And cover this and other horror anthologies. But I'm like, I can't do that. I've got 3 podcasts and a cat. So,
right.
Yeah. So thanks again to Witching Season Films for letting us screen their short film. And yeah, we're going to do it again next year. It's going to be a blast. Also, I want to mention that I felt kind of like a dick because I didn't get a chance to really talk to that many people at Shocktober that much. Mm-hmm. But I did notice that Andy was there.
Nice.
Yep. And also James, who's been at Shocktober a few. I think I've only ever seen him at Shocktober, but he listens to the podcast and everything. So nice to see you too.
Nice. That's
sorry
cool.
I didn't get a chance to talk to you guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was awesome. It was a fun night, and can't wait to do it again. And then any closing thoughts on Shocktober?
I really wish I could have been there.
Yeah.
I think just to promote JP a little bit, I think he recently released a short story that's in the Elsewhere world.
Yes, there's one on Kindle called The Thin Place.
That's what I was like. Yeah, that's what I haven't had a chance to read it yet. Mm-hmm. And then I think he's getting close to finishing the 3rd book.
Yep.
Which I'm excited for. He
posted an announcement on Instagram, I think, saying like the 3rd manuscript is done or something to that effect.
It's awesome.
So cool, so exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's Shocktober in Irvington. Yeah. I don't know how to close this out.
Well, we made another awesome donation to the.
Oh yes, we didn't even say that. Yeah. Yeah. This year we were able to, thanks to everyone that came to Shocktober in Irvington, we were able to raise $404 and donated that to the Irvington Historical Society. They are currently, up until November 12th, they are running an exhibit all about H.H. Holmes and showcasing the collection, this mysterious collection that Al Hunter, who does the ghost tours, he received this donation of photographs from the H.H. Holmes family, and he doesn't know where they originated from. There's this story that's told in the exhibit that is very fascinating, and they have it's a really cool exhibit, and it's free to go and check out. So go check out the Irvington Historical Society and go check out some of their events and everything that they do, and become a member too. It's a really cool place that really works hard to preserve the history of the area, and it's really fantastic, and we're so happy to be able to provide them with our donation each year.
Absolutely. I really need to go check out that H.H. Holmes exhibit.
Yes. Oh, yes, you do.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
I read The Devil in the White City this year, so I need to I kind of freshened up on all my history.
Nice.
Of H.H. Holmes. I need to go. I didn't get to do the ghost tour this year.
Yeah, me neither.
So, yeah.
Yeah. I think I was going to, but my brother got appendicitis.
Yes.
So,
and this kind of ties in regard to that. Al Hunter recently posted that H.H. Holmes has a tie to Indianapolis. If for those who don't know, he murdered a boy here in Indianapolis and Irvington. And so he incorporated that into the ghost tour over all these years. And we would go to the spot where the house was. He thought that's where the house was, but the house was torn down and they built a new one there. But it turns out they didn't destroy it. He found out they didn't destroy the house. They just moved it. And so I think it's in the same area. I think it's still in Irvington, but he actually posted some photos to his Facebook page where he photos from inside the original home where H.H. Holmes stayed when he lived in Irvington. So that's just a cool piece of history that was discovered just this year about that exhibit. Part of why Irvington's so awesome.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And And it's so awesome because when I go to give the donation and everything, it's just like, it's so cool because it's fall, it's the Halloween season.
Yeah.
And it's just like going through Irvington and Halloween time is like, it's so beautiful to see like everyone getting into it and everything. It's really fantastic.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and then also final thing, our friends at the Black Hat Society, they're a group of dancing witches that do flash mobs and do events in Irvington, and they support so much of Irvington. It's ridiculous. They are selling 2008 hanging calendars, and they are on sale at Coal Yard Coffee on Bonnet Avenue and a couple other places. Check their Facebook page, but I bought mine at Coal Yard Coffee, which is also a really, like, I didn't know that was a place.
Nice.
Yeah, and it's like, it's a really cool like little coffee shop, and I got I think I got a French vanilla iced coffee. That's what I got.
Okay.
And it was delicious. But yeah, it's a very cool spot. Go check it out. $20 for the calendar. And the calendar, it's cash only. All the proceeds that they make go to a diabetes thing and a few different organizations. One called the Poor House, and then a juvenile diabetes camp, I think.
Okay.
And a few other places. But all the proceeds are going there. They're a great organization. Go check them out at on Facebook. Just type in the Black Hat Society and go support them because they're fantastic. And they helped us a lot this year for Shocktober.
Nice.
Yeah, and without further ado, thank you guys so much for listening to this special episode of the podcast. We will be back later this week, actually, probably, or this weekend, sure, probably, with an episode with me and Fecus reviewing Blade Runner 2049, and we'll also be talking about the Harvey Weinstein, Kevin Spacey, kind of all that news that's been hitting recently. And then next week we'll do probably maybe Thor Ragnarok or Stranger Things.
Yeah.
So check that out. And thank you guys so much for supporting us at Shocktober in Irvington and listening to the podcast. We really appreciate it. And we'll see you next time. All right. Well, that does it for this year's Shocktober in Irvington. Thank you guys once again for coming out and supporting local filmmakers and supporting us and everything. It's greatly appreciated. Make sure you check out playgroundproductionsstudio.com for more about this lovely venue. And also check out shocktoberinirvington.com, obsessiveviewer.com, all that stuff. Also, if you're interested in this event, again, we'll be doing it again next year. Follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/Shocktober in Irvington. And, thank you guys so much for coming out. Thank you for everyone that helped us put this together. Chad, Greg, my brother Ray for helping with promotion, and my buddy John for supplying ice and stuff, which I thought was very nice of him. And also Tony for the prizes and promotion and everything. And thank you to everyone else who's helped us out. And, thank you guys for coming. Have a great night. Okay, hey guys. So just breaking into this episode once again to kind of close us out with an announcement. Witching Season Films, who they let us screen their short film "They Live Inside Us" at Shocktober in Irvington this year, and then last year we screened Princess. It's an anthology horror movie, anthology horror series on YouTube. It's the Witching Season Films. They are actually in the process of crowdfunding a feature film based on They Live Inside Us. It is currently live on Indiegogo. It is, as of this recording, it has 15 days left. So by the end of November, you have until then to support Witching Season. They are a fantastic group of very creative filmmakers who make some very incredible short horror films for YouTube, and that is so perfectly in keeping with the Halloween spirit and season. So definitely go check that out at Indiegogo.com. Just type in Witching Season Films or go to witchingseasonfilms.com and click donate. And I'm going to try to get someone from Witching Season onto the podcast to talk about it if we can get the timing timing right. But yeah, they have such great reward tiers too. Like they have this really killer poster design that they had a limited run of prints months ago, and I didn't get a chance to get one, but they have it available as one of the reward tiers. And they also have DVD and Blu-rays of the short films and stickers and pins and stuff. It's a really great group to support. So go check that out. They have several backers now, but they still need some backers for the crowdfunding campaign. So go check that out at Indiegogo.com. I will have a link in the show notes of this episode. And yeah, to everyone that came out to Shocktober in Irvington, thank you. To everyone that supported us, thank you. And we can't wait to do it again next year. And yeah, thank you for listening and have a great one.
Thank you for listening to The Obsessive Viewer, presented by ObsessiveViewer.com. You can find more of our episodes at ovpodcast.com, and you can subscribe to the show on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, or anywhere else podcasts are found. If you'd like to support the show, the best and easiest way is to leave us a rating and a review on iTunes. More ratings and reviews means it'll be easier for people to find the show in the highly competitive film and TV podcast genre. It also provides us with valuable feedback on the show. If you'd like to donate to the podcast, you can make a one-time PayPal donation at obsessiveviewer.com/donate or become a patron at patreon.com/obsessiveviewer for recurring donations with different reward tiers. Every donation goes toward paying the fees to keep the podcast running and is greatly appreciated. For official Obsessive Viewer merch, including shirts, mugs, notebooks, phone cases, and more, visit our TeePublic store. You can also buy other great TeePublic designs in our store, and we'll get a small commission on the sale. You can find a link to the store in the show notes of this episode and at obsessiveviewer.com/donate. The Obsessive Viewer's theme song is An Eclipse of Events and is provided by Loudlike from their EP, Mistakes We Must Make. You can find that and more great music from them on iTunes, and like their Facebook page at facebook.com/loudlikemusic. Any and all feedback on the podcast is encouraged. We love to hear from you guys. You can contact us by emailing podcast@obsessiveviewer.com or by tweeting us at obsessiveviewer, at obsessivetiny, and at IamMikeWhite. You can also like us on Facebook and join the Facebook group at facebook.com/theobsessiveviewer, where you can take part in discussions and polls between episodes. For more podcast content, check out Anthology, Matt's solo podcast, where he's reviewing The Twilight Zone as a first-time viewer and exploring other classic and contemporary science fiction anthology TV shows. You can find Anthology at anthologypod.com and anywhere podcasts are found. For book lovers, you can check out our sister site at obsessivebooknerd.com for book reviews, author spotlights, and a general celebration of reading. Finally, if you're philosophically curious, check out Tiny's side project podcast, The Secular Perspective, which explores the concepts of faith, religion, and existence from the perspective of secular hosts Chad and Amanda. You can find that at thesecularperspective.com and subscribe to the podcast on the app of your choice. Once again, thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next time.